Welcome back to Uriel's Lantern. So good to have you here. So what we're going to do is a little radiant pathway. We're going to go manifest our life as a conscious creator. We got to get aligned. We got to go through all the motions. We're going to bring about the existence that we want to have here. So I sent out my big legal letter. Spirit tells me that it is causing much calamity in the world of the judges, and that's going to bake for a little bit. So I'm going to go spend my time dealing with some of these smaller like loan frauds. So we're going to manifest a reality where these loan docs like get alchemized from my fears about them to cash in my bank account because these bastards committed crimes. We're going to call them out, and we're going to make this happen. So, just to recap, maybe I can do this fast every time, but, when you sign some kind of promissory note, it immediately turns into a collateralized security. And the lender can go, the quote-unquote lender, can take that collateral security to a bank who can trade it, or who can bring it to the Federal Reserve. And when they bring it to the Federal Reserve, they can get dollar for dollar, however much you sign the loan for, they can get that much money from the Federal Reserve. They give them that many Federal Reserve notes. And not only that, they get the interest. And so if you got a 30-year mortgage at 7%, these guys, the second that they sign it, are getting that full value. So that it could be, anywhere from 1 to 3 times the amount of money that you were quote unquote lending goes to the lending company right away. And then they have the audacity to say, hey, you're gonna have to pay this as a loan. They didn't give you their deposits. They took your promissory note, they turned it into currency, into these promissory notes, the dollars in a bank account, and they said now you got to pay it back, but it was never theirs. Your signature is the thing that created the value, and they stole it. And they stole it because you don't know any of this, and you've never talked about it with anybody, and you've never read any of the laws. Nobody teaches you this. You don't get Law 101 or even advanced courses in this kind of law. In your grade school or high school, you don't even get principles of this stuff. You don't get to learn any of this. They do not want you to know this. But how you sign actually matters. If you leave it blank, it's just your signature. That counts more or less like a bearer's document, just like it does on cash, right? So you're passing cash back and forth. Go look, there's 2 signatures on that. That's a promissory note. It's between 2 different types of treasurers. So that's a promissory note, and it doesn't say pay to the order on it. So everybody just trades it back and forth, and that's what you're supposed to do. So, but when you created your promissory note and you just signed it with what's called a blank endorsement, just your first, middle, last, the lending agency sees that you just left money on the table, because what you were supposed to do is sign it with a qualified and special endorsement. And that means that you go and you put pay to the order of, and it's your name in all caps, and then you put by colon your name in mixed caps, and then you also write pay to the order of. So it's pay to the order of your all caps name by your authority, and then you also write without recourse on it. The banks are hiding these kind of like magic words that you're supposed to put on checks. Don't teach anybody about it. Like, even low-ranking banking members don't know this stuff. You have to sort of be like in the know in the lending department to even know how it's supposed to operate. And even then, you don't necessarily understand it. You just know these are the words that I write because that's the words that the guy before me wrote. So you might know what you have to do. You just might not know why you're doing it. So, next up, we want all this stuff. Oh, I'm gonna fall. So what we want is to make sure that we get our money, and because I want that money that I signed for. That value should be mine, and I don't want to have to pay 2 to 3 times the amount that I took a quote-unquote loan out for. So I'm fighting 4 different groups, and I know that's a lot, but I wanted the practice, so I'm doing it all at the same time. And one of the groups, I gave them like a 10-day window to get back at me, and I think just by happenstance they sued me. So the deadline for them to default was December 24th, and now I'm going to put a UCC1 filing statement in there, and that's just a notice of a lien. So this thing is like a mechanic's lien, where you incurred some damages and you didn't pay, and now there's a mechanic's lien. They get to say, hey, here's a debt that you owe. And I'm doing the same thing. I'm just saying, this is a mechanic's lien. This is the damage you caused me. This is what you owe. And I keep ramping it up the further that I have to go, because it's more work and more risk and all this other stuff. So, going to work on my lawsuit today. My response to their lawsuit, really. I'm going to tell them how much they owe. I'm going to put in there a motion for summary judgment, because I sent them an affidavit and I said, hey, this is what's up. And they didn't respond. So they're trying to solve this in court, but I already solved it in commerce. They didn't respond to my affidavit. This is truth and law. So, unrebutted affidavit stands as fact. So, we're going to fight them. And when we fight them, we're just going to go in and go for the kill as our first move. Hey, this is a really fascinating lawsuit. Thanks for setting this up. You saved me $300. Turns out, you're all a bunch of criminals. You have stolen money from me. You have caused me damages. I've had to then respond to your lawsuit, and I told you how the damages would work for that. Your silence is consent. When you stole from me, it's consent. And now we're going to get judgment. Judgment's the first thing we're going after here. So my plan is to sort of head on out there, and as a very first step, write this thing. Maybe I'll do the UCC today. I think I want to study it a bit more too, but we're going after them. So that's the mood. That's the mode. So Spirit, anything you want to do to help me finish this process, get her going, so I can get paid and I can slay one of my goblins, learn this process cold before the big one starts, that would be great. So all downloads, all help, all healing, whatever it takes to get me from here to there. So to do this, we need to be in alignment, and we need to be broadcasting our signal, receiving signal. You have to be able to give and receive. So when we're trying to get aligned, we need our body, our mind, our awareness, our heart, our soul, and our actions all in alignment. So, I've been complaining about my left heel, but I gotta say, I was like praying for healing, and it came through. That was amazing. I feel like Mary Magdalene and Mother Mary helped give me some healing touch from the other side. I can feel a little bit of sweat on my brow. I'm just trying to be in my body right now, I can feel my lower back's a little bit sore. My left knee is a little tight. I can feel the cuff of my glove kind of pinching my wrist just ever so slightly. Just trying to be in my body a little, you know. Feel what this is like. I'm really doing it. I can like hear my heartbeat in my ears and different parts of my body, and just like sense it. That's when I'm really in my body. But this is good enough. Body will follow along. Body's amazing. Next up, we got to do the heart. So I say, hey heart, you're like this beautiful flower, but you haven't yet popped open. Could you please unfurl for me? In my mind's eye, with my awareness, I can see that popping open. And I say, hey heart, thanks for doing that. There's a little flame there. And I think of that as my God spark. Maybe you have it somewhere else. I'm not saying that's the only place for it to be, but that's where I think it is for me. Really, maybe it's our whole being. But this is the main piece that I try to get activated. Heart calls in a lot of things. It's kind of like the locomotion of all this crafting and reality bit that we're doing. So heart, please open. I got my little flame. I'm going to breathe some life into that flame. I can feel it grow a little bit. You know, 1 or 2 cycles of air and I can feel that it's filling up my heart. And I'm not trying to break the universe today. I'm going to go a little bigger. I want it to be just outside of my size of what I think my heart is. Sometimes a double sniff can help calm your body. Don't know if you know that, but if you're really freaking out about something, try some double sniffs and see if that can't reduce your stress and your load. All right, heart's in a pretty good spot. Now, I don't think I have to make major changes for this. I've been working on this stuff for a while. So I'm going to build like a little urn, maybe an urn the size of a pet. You know, not for like a whole human body, but had a cat die or here or there, a little kitten. Got it cremated. Got a small little urn. I think that's all I need for today. But we'll find out. So with my heart, I'll say, heart, I know you can craft some energetic bodies. They look like they are emerald green to me. And I'd like you to make a little small urn for the pieces of my consciousness that aren't going to come with me for this. I can see this thing, it kind of fits in my hand. It has like it's like a pentagon box, a lid that pops off. All right. Well, so heart, I got this lawsuit where I'd like to slay one of my goblins and learn a lot in the process. Can you please tell me what's in my way? Why can't I do that? And in fact, I'm getting called to my groin a little here. Don't know what's down there, but I'm not just going to open this up to my heart. I'll say, you know, if there's any part of my body, heart, brain, mind, nads, you know, my sense of self, whatever this is, whatever's holding this back, I don't want this in my life. Some old programming. Help me know. And I'm hearing you don't deserve freedom, but it doesn't feel that strong to me. You know, I heard that a couple days ago, maybe a week ago. I'm kind of over it. So let's scoop that out and put that in our little urn. What was that thing in my groin? Why can't I fight this? It says you're not manly enough. You know, honestly, court, like outside of a literal combat sport or, you know, being a soldier, you know, court's about as manly as it gets. And I've been doing battle testing the last 5 years. I got like a decorated black belt in family law. And, you know, even if I'm not some ripped bro. I definitely don't wander around thinking I am unmanly. Again, it came out, but it wasn't that tough. So we're going to scoop that out of my, groinal consciousness, and we're going to put that into this little urn. And again, like the trick of this, you're going to hear these things, and if you hold on to that belief and you grab it as tight and you're like, I can't believe it said this, it hurts so much, and you like grip it, it's going to fuck you up. Don't be doing that. This is here as like a kindness to let you know. And then when you're grabbing it, imagine you got like a glove on, or you got some tweezers and you're pulling it apart. Little strands of whatever need to come out of there that aren't healthy. Don't get stuck on this stuff. Just because you hear it doesn't mean it's true. They're like, your subconscious is running programs all the time. And what we're really doing is like decoding our subconscious, because whatever programs we left unfixed, unhealed, they just run. Now, like, once they're in there, they go until you consciously remove them. So you might have unconsciously created them, but you have to consciously remove them. What else we got? I'm getting some doubt from like my solar plexus, or maybe my belly. I think it's my kids saying something like, I don't think you can do that, Dad. So we're going to find out. We're going to find out. I'm going to scoop some of that up and put that in my little urn here. Little third eye buzz. What's this? You won't have the divine grace and favor to do this. Bro, I'm like the most protected man on the planet right now as I'm fighting the law. I know my God loves me. Jesus has walked beside me. I can feel that Mother Mary and Mary Magdalene helped heal my left heel. I had dreams about that. I woke up feeling better, and I knew what that was. So, thank you, but that's not true. The divine loves me. The divine chooses me. I choose it. So, thank you for that little bit of stuff I don't need. And again, we're gonna thank it, right? Like, it's a kindness that our chakra and our body and our spirit and our guides and whatever else is happening here is bringing this to life. We want to transition. We don't want to live like this. That's the whole point of doing this. We got to change. We got to change who we are in our heart, in all parts of our body. We got to let it go. We got to alchemize it. Turn these negative thoughts into gold. Enrich us. And when these different aspects of us tell us, and we can hear it in our mind's eye, this is what's wrong. This is why you're not there. This is your fear. This is what's holding you back. You say, thanks. I don't want to live with this. We just, dissect it. We, like a surgeon, we kind of cut it off and remove it and put it into this little small urn. Maybe you got bigger troubles and you got to get a bigger urn and you got to do it every day. I don't know. It's on you. It's on you to figure out. So, the next step of this, we got to go release all this and let it go. So to do that, I'm going to take this little magical urn of ours and we're going to bring it down. And bring it down. Mother Gaia, say, Mother Gaia, I got some consciousness for you. I no longer need it. It no longer serves me. I have removed it. And I am requesting that you, my beloved, would take this in, turn it into something magical. You do that all the time. Would you do that for me this time? I hear yes, my love. Yes, my dear. Guy's amazing. So in my mind's eye, I got this thing now on like a bucket, rope and bucket in like a well, and I can see my little urn going down into Gaia. I obviously don't have rope that I'm holding. This is all happening in my mind's eye. And I'm lowering that bit of consciousness into the earth. And this time I see her taking it in by the hands. Thank you, Gaia. She's like, putting her personal touch and attention to it. That makes me feel loved. All right, so now we've done some work, right? We did some work, we got rid of this. And then when we've done the work, we take a sigh. Oh. We let it go. Gaia's got that. Gaia's got it. She's transmuting that as we speak. That consciousness, I don't need to worry about it. I'll keep producing more random bits of negative consciousness. I don't know that I'll ever escape that, but Gaia will be there. She'll take it. She loves me. Okay, so now we got to go build a light body. And what we're going to do, we got to build two things. We got to build a memory orb, and we got to build a light body. So the memory orb, we're going to put inside this light body, and then we're going to send that light body up towards heaven. So we're going to let the earth energy come up from underneath. Send my feelers way down. I can feel Gaia waiting for me. She's shooting up rays of rust-colored energy up through my feet, through my body, up through my crown, and it goes straight up to heaven. And then I got this Father Sky energy comes burning straight down, right through my crown, right through my heart, down through my feet, and all the way down to Gaia. And I can feel those two things mixing in my heart center, my divine spark, and I can feel that almost right away. There's a little bit of gold sitting right there in my heart center. I pinch it, and I'm going to pull it out, and I'm going to breathe life into it. Now I got like a little snake arm, a little, like a fire hose that's spitting out golden light just into the world. What I'm going to do is I'm going to pinch it again, and I'm going to stick it into my light body. Like a foot above my head, and forms a sphere, like a hollow sphere. Kind of like a tire. It's like an inner tube, but it's, the full sphere, not just a little tube. We're going to fill that up. Each breath I take, we're going to fill that up, help that grow. It doesn't take too much. I just want to imbue it with my own little spirit. And I guess since other parts of my body were wanting this, I'm gonna breathe life into all my chakras. I'm gonna pinch from down near my groin, kind of by my leg, and I'm gonna pull that up through my heart, up through my head, up through my crown. I'm gonna attach that to my light body. And every breath I take, it's gonna go in. I'm gonna fill it up. I had a little dream that I was going to go a different way today. I think I'm actually going to do that. Hopefully I don't get lost. I don't have a crazy good direction sense. Whew, this is the scary part. Ugh. All right. So we got our light body, and now we need a memory orb. So what we're going to do, we got to go forward in time. Now, I don't want this to be forever. I don't want to be sitting here doing this forever. So it's maybe 6 months. I got a whole season of miracles coming in. So I'm not even going to sit in my own house. I'm going to sit in one bigger and better. It's on a field, kind of like a little gentleman's farm here. And I'm in the office. Beautiful office. All right. Then what? So I'm sitting there in the office, and I created this earlier, and it's still here. Up on the wall is kind of my wall of legal glory. Freaking hilarious. Okay. So So like on this wall, I got all these kind of like printouts of checks, and I got printouts of orders from court judges, and I got this some of my victories kind of up in a hubris wall, a glory wall, a crushing defeat of mine enemies wall. I don't actually know which way I'm supposed to go here. I think it's this way. This has a yellow tag on it. But I'm going that way. I don't know, bros. Don't let me die. All right. So I got this wall, and on the wall is it's like a photocopy of the check that this stupid company sends me, my little mortgage broker. So now I got to go back even a couple more months. So I went forward 6 months, sit in my new house, in my great office, looking at my wall of legal glory. And then I'm coming back 3 months. And this check comes in the mail. You know, I open it. I still get anxiety when I'm opening the mail. Just what inhuman abuse am I going to go through next? That's how I feel when I open the mail now. But this time it's a check. It's a check from this company because they lost. And it's not, you know, I tried to settle with them for like damages plus a little bit, but they didn't do it. So I bar-grieved their attorneys. One of them can't even practice law anymore. Put in criminal complaints. Now they're all getting investigated. It's some might even call this like a little bit of a rout. There's that check. So my girlfriend walks in as I'm hanging this check on my wall of glory. And she says, "Ooh, what's that?" And I tell her about this legal matter. You know, I keep a bunch of this stuff secret when I'm going through it, because one of the things is doubt can keep this stuff at bay. So if you're feeling doubts when you're going through this process, you got to talk to your doubt. You say, "Hey, doubt, you stay over there. I don't have time for that. I ain't got no room for that. I need that to go away." And if it doesn't, then you have a hard time manifesting this thing. I don't think that's path. This looks like it just ends. There's a little bit outside this fence. Yeah. Private property. Don't come here. 28:22 on the clock. Stay away from my property. So, kept it secret for a while. Then I told her about it when I was putting the check up. And her jaw just like hits the floor. In part because I did this with a car already. So she knew it can happen, but she wasn't expecting a check this size. But that's what I pulled in. That's what I manifested. And I manifested doom. Doom and calamity. The Tower card upon mine enemy. You know, like when these guys mess with me, I get divine authority. You know, Luke 10:19. I get to trample on the snakes and the scorpions. I get to defeat mine enemy, and none of them can harm me. And further, they consented. All right, so I come with divine authority, but then I also come with consent from them. Because the second that they stole from me, they authorized an obligation. And then I gave them notice, and they kept coming. Now it's not my fault. Now it's not on me. I gave them notice. I did my job. I did the ethical thing. They sow in the wind, now reap the storm. So the criminal complaints go out. find out that at least one of them can't practice law anymore. The law firm gets into major trouble, and they end up paying me almost the maximum amount. And so this little, I don't even know what it is, $125,000 or something. This dumb little mortgage turns into like tens of millions of dollars for them. They have to pay me. They send me the check. And then I am there, laughter in my heart, joy in my heart. All right, so when I saw that little yellow sign and I said, hey, maybe it's that way, but I'm not going to go that way. Yeah, it was that way. This just seems so weird. I don't understand why I'm going this way, because it's the wrong direction. But we're going to explore. So anyways, that's my little memory bubble. Talking with my girl, laughing my ass off, hanging on the wall of glory, putting it up there along with all the other chumps that messed with me. And there she goes. And so now what we're going to do, we're going to put that whole thing we just created is like a little memory orb. If you want to do a little Reiki into the memory orb, go right ahead. Put some energy into that. And then we're going to move it just from like in our hands to kind of take our place inside of our light body, this kind of sphere that's around us. And after that, we're gonna send that light body holding the memory orb. We're gonna send that up towards heaven. We're gonna push it up a little, and we're gonna blow air behind it. Give it a breath of light. And the second I blew air, I heard accepted in my head. Oh, bro. That's just great. That was the fastest I think it's ever been from like outside of my vision quest here to acceptance in my brain from the divine. Hilarious. These poor bastards, they don't even know what's coming. They're like, hey, we can defraud you and we'll take you to court over our fraud. And I'm like, the fuck you will. I got divine authority. I have your consent. I have your crimes. I have damages. You got nothing. You have like a fucking fraudulent document. You should have thought this out a little bit more. I even warned you. I sent you a 20-page letter saying I'm the wrong guy. But I guess this is their karma. They wanted this. They needed to learn this. And I am more than happy to provide this lesson. It won't be free of charge. It's going to cost them a lot of money. It's going to cost me some paper and some stamps and a whole lot of pain previously. But that's a sunk cost. Yeah, that was 33:09 on the clock. Oh, you guys are fucked. You guys are so fucked. All right. Well, I have some joy. I have some gratitude. I guess I need my sigh. Oh, good times. Good fucking times. All right. And then, I need this to come in before my big legal showdown. Fighting the lawman. Violated my rights. But I know how to swing back. At least I think I do. All right. So, I am grateful. Thank you, God. Thank you for taking this. Thank you for taking it so quickly. Freaking amazing. And in case it's not clear, I'm 46, so the energy that I got, it's kind of like a hard drive. Maybe if you're young, you might know it as a USB drive, but back in the day, this was like, we just made a floppy disk. And we sent that floppy disk to heaven, and we said, run this code, please. And, it's polite, but really the more that we act like that's just a straight up command, the better. Run this code by my divine authority. through their consent. This is the code. This is the way. This is what's happening. Stern, not like yelling at God, but we're saying this is the world I want to live in. This is the world we're co-creating. These guys have some karma coming their way. They're going to get smoked for it. They fucked with the wrong dude. Stole from the wrong man. Put me in peonage. Fuck them. It's on. It's on. So, I guess I'll send some thoughts. I don't want to go. I guess I'm already sort of going full tower here, but you know, I like it when people can get that inkling and decide. They get like a little spiritual notice that something ain't right, and they can decide to quit. They could listen to their instinct, call the raid early, and say, you know what, guys, I want to tap out. I'm done. I don't have a good feeling about this. I got a bad feeling about this one. And they quit. And I can let them off the hook at that point. You know, whatever damages that they incurred, that's what they get. That's your karma. I'm not going to mess with your karma. You did this. This is so weird. I don't see where this trail, it's just like to a dead-end fence. There's a nice little stream here. I can definitely go swimming in the summer in this thing. Take my kids to wade up it. Oh, well, that's a little sign that says go that way. I still don't understand why I'm going this way. It's because I have no direction sense. But, all right. So what else do we want here? So now I needed to come in before too long. So I need some gravity. I gotta cross this little brook. Makes me nervous to do this with my phone, especially because this way down doesn't look safe. Thanks. All right, so I have to set my intention to be like a gravity well pulling this thing in. So, hey universe, hey me, hey dream, hey God, hey divine spark. We're pulling this bad boy in. It's coming. It's coming. It's coming now. I need this resolved quickly so that I can get the experience. And also, you know, I've been sitting here patiently waiting for my season of miracles, and I kept getting the sense of you just have to rest, calm down, be at peace. Today, I started getting the message that this shit's coming in. We are cleared for takeoff. So now I got to be in like a different spot, a different zone. Whew. Up we go. I'm in a different zone for this. Because life's about to get busy for me. I've been sitting here kind of twiddling my thumbs for a bit. But I think divine timing's almost here. I'm getting that inner knowing. You know, one of the things that I didn't quite yet have in my drawing, I got this giant log I gotta walk over. Can I even do this? Oh, I gotta sit. I gotta sit down. All right. I've been chilling, but now I think things are gonna speed up. I think once the universe says, "Hey, this man's ready," it's gonna be go time. So I don't want to have all this work I got to do hanging over my head with all the other work I got to do. So I think Spirit will allow for this, but I think it's about to be an intense crunch time. So one of the things that makes me think that is that, you know, I'm going through a lot of emotional release right now. Well, maybe not right this second, but little things are making me tear up. And I feel like I'm releasing it. The stuff that was in my soul is holding me back, making me feel small. I was letting it go. I'm letting it go. What that tells me, you know, I got the final stages. You got to fight goblins, but I think there might be one more stage of, you know, letting sorrow, grief, stress. You know, you don't just have to turn and fight it, but you also got to turn and let it go. So, if you happen to have watched some of my visual depictions of this whole process, I think there's one more step. And that step is that you got to let it go. And I've been feeling it. You know, that part was new. I've been in the fighting goblin mode for 5 years. Been fighting goblins and demons. Dragons. Find them all. But now I'm just moving into this phase of release. So it makes me think that I'm getting down to the end of the wire. My days of hardship. I mean, I actually think I knew I crossed some portals. I knew I had some releasing to go. Knew I wasn't done yet. Huh. I recognize sort of where I am. Oh yeah. Cool. Cool. I dig it. I dig it. I know exactly where I am. Hallelujah. Okay. So, I think that's what I got for today. Gonna go try to catch some downloads for my guides and Spirit, embody some love. Really want to work on just emitting love and receiving love just as I walk, as I exist, just being a portal for love. That's what my short experience being really conscious of being near Jesus was. There's so much love, spreading that everywhere. So that's what I'm going to work on. I'm going to call the raid. Thanks everybody. Glad you were here. Glad this might have helped somebody. And you know, just be careful how big you go, because the bigger the dream, the bigger the change that you're going to need to make to get there. So if this is your first, you've always been creating your own reality, but if this is your first time really consciously trying to do it, I would suggest you start small. That's what I got. Much love. Thanks, guys.